저거 들리지 않냐? 삑삑삑. 그냥 나중에 할까? 오케이. McConnell rips Pelosi for impeachment delay. That is the topic of today's op-ed live. So Fox News reported just a couple hours ago that McConnell rips Pelosi for impeachment delay and McConnell says that Democrats are afraid to transmit shoddy articles. So Democrats, I think they're scared that they came up with this impeachment idea and they know that the Senate is not going to allow this to happen. So now they have cold feet. They don't know what to do. They're afraid about it. Nancy Pelosi even refused to take questions regarding impeachment. I always said this, that this whole impeachment debacle is a tremendous political asset to Trump. You know, many things, it's happening for the purpose of Trump's reelection. Everything is working to his favor. Even the Robert Mueller investigation, you know, all the racist, sexist, those ridiculous charges, those false charges, they're also working to Trump's favor. So Fox News reported this. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell set the stage today for a potentially bruising fight between the leadership of the two chambers over impeachment as he tore into Nancy Pelosi for shoddy work and said Democrats may be too afraid, they're too afraid to send the articles to the Senate after the House Speaker abruptly held off on transmitting them. I think there's even a chance that Nancy Pelosi might not even send the articles, right? And just let this impeachment narrative continue to 2020 and they're trying to convince the American people, hey, this is why you have to vote Democrats on the Senate side and also the presidential election. But it's not working. Other than radical Democrats, far left people, nobody, I think everybody else, they do not agree this impeachment process. They don't. Even the people who are against Trump, but who are not far left, radicals, they are also against this shenanigan. It's just ridiculous. And look how evil they are. The whole investigation should be focused on Joe Biden and his quid pro quo with Ukraine. But the Democrats turned it around that the whole thing should be investigated on Trump. When Trump wanted to just investigate what was going on, I mean, he asked the Ukrainian president what's going on in Ukraine. What did Joe Biden do there? How come Hunter Biden got paid $83,000? Don't you want to ask that question? I do. I want to know what they have been doing. This is not about left or right. It's about right or wrong. So Mitch McConnell, I really believe Mitch McConnell, he has been amazing. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of him, but ever since the Brett Kavanaugh hoax, you know, when Christine Blasey Ford falsely accused Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault back in the day when they were in high school, I think that's when McConnell told himself, hey, this is war. This is war. This is not just, you know, politics. This is war. I think that woke him up. And Mitch McConnell has been so awesome in the Senate side. You know, I applaud him. So this is what McConnell said. This particular House of Representatives has let its partisan rage at this particular president create a toxic new precedent that will echo well into the future. Okay? And he accused Democrats of giving in to temptation with their impeachment vote while challenging their handling of the articles in the aftermath. And you know what's going to happen? In the future, the Congress will impeach any president who has a difference with their own policy. You know, it's going to become that way. They cheapened the process of impeachment. So this is what the Senate GOP leader said. Looks like the prosecutors are getting cold feet. And McConnell knows it, right? I think Nancy Pelosi was pushed around by who? By the radical left. The four radical left congresswomen, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez +3. So McConnell's remarks came the morning after House Democrats voted to impeach President Trump for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress in relation to to his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. That's when Trump asked him, hey, what's going on between Joe Biden? I want to know that. And I applaud Trump for asking that question. There is nothing wrong about it, right? Joe Biden, he was involved in a tremendous corruption with Ukraine. The media don't want to run that, though. McConnell decried the effort, for which no Republicans voted, as the most rushed, least thorough, and most unfair impeachment inquiry in modern history. It taps into long-standing complaints by Republicans that the impeachment has trampled over minority rights in the House, and that Democrats were pursuing an outcome they have preordained before Trump was even sworn into office. After McConnell spoke, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer shot back by dismissing the Republican claim that the impeachment was purely partisan as only Democrats voted for it. This is what he said, forgive me, House Democrats cannot be held responsible for the cravenness of the House Republican caucus and their blind fealty to the president. You know, this whole thing, I think it's related to the FISA issue, when the Obama administration spied on Trump, right? That's pretty much it, you know? And they wanted to erase that with this new impeachment stuff. Whatever they do, they accuse what Trump is doing, or the Republicans. But actually, all the shenanigans has been done on the Democratic side. They were the one who colluded with Russia. They got the Steele dossier from Russians, right? And they paid for it. It was paid and bought for by the Democrats. And even with Ukraine, it was Joe Biden who did the quid pro quo thing with Ukraine. But they accused Trump for doing that. And later they changed it to bribery. And now I don't know what they changed it to. They changed it to what? Just two issues of articles of impeachment, that he abused power, obstruction of Congress. It's just ridiculous. Even 3 Democrats couldn't agree with the Democrat side, so they flipped. No Republicans flipped. And even on the Senate side, I believe, like Alabama Senator Doug Jones and Joe Manchin, I think they're going to vote against these Democrats. I believe that. It's 53 to 47, but probably if they had a vote on the Senate side, I believe it will be probably 55 or 56 on the Republican side. So Pelosi said this, we'll make a decision as we go along. We'll see what the process will be on the Senate side. Now they'll understand what their responsibilities are, and we'll see what that is. And Pelosi insisted that Republicans would need to run a fair trial if the matter made its way to the Senate, without explaining what exactly she was seeking. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler insisted in separate remarks that Democrats are not playing games with impeachment and the articles will be transmitted. Now, I just think this whole impeachment thing is not even that important. What I care about the most is John Durham. You know, at this moment, I kind of care about what John Durham is going to find out about his investigation of this whole Russia collusion thing, where it started from. My focus is on that, like 90%. Impeachment is like probably 3 to 4% of my mind, you know, when I think about politics. It doesn't interest me that much. It's just a show. It's a sideshow. It's a freak show. I'm interested in what John Durham is going to find out. I'm interested in whether James Comey or John Brennan or James Clapper would be charged. I'm interested in whether John Durham would probably investigate Obama or not. I'm interested in that. And that's pretty much all I have to say about impeachment today. So let's move on to news headlines and Twitter feed. So Trump tweeted this, "They're not after me, they are after you." Let's move on. GOP tweeted this, "The impeachment vote has been recorded, but House Democrats aren't stopping there. They have gone on record saying in the 2020 they will try to impeach POTUS again if he's reelected. It shows just how partisan this whole sham has been. Stop the madness." Let's move on. Joey Saladino tweeted this, "The Democrats impeached Trump for crimes committed by Joe Biden. Honestly, I am impressed." Let's move on. Impeachment is now officially meaningless. The president should hold his head high knowing that a group of liars, frauds, charlatans, police state supporters, and swamp rats don't approve of his success. The Democrats are a joke and everything they touch, they destroy. Let's move on. Mark Levin tweeted this. Nancy Pelosi was apparently advised by left-wing Harvard law professor Lawrence Tribe to delay sending the impeachment to the Senate. So she's unilaterally sitting on the impeachment. This is another brazen, unconstitutional act. Let's move on. IET tweeted this. Trump has not been impeached. The House can't impeach. They can only vote for impeachment, then the Senate trial or Supreme Court trial. Both have to vote to impeach Trump before he is actually removed from office, which will not happen. Let's move on. Katie Pavlich tweeted this. By the way, Trump had a huge rally in Battle Creek, Michigan last night while the impeachment vote was being held. Isn't that kind of awesome, you know? When the Democrats, they're all hell-bent on impeachment and nothing else. They don't want any improvement of American lives, just focusing on impeachment, while Trump is having a rally in a swing state, Michigan, and telling people how many American lives has improved, right? 17% of Trump rally attendees in Michigan are Democrats. The Democrat nominee is in big trouble. Okay, let's move on. Okay, Kelly Kearns tweeted this. Only in America can you admit on live TV that you wanted your political rival investigated in return for military aid and half the country still thinks you are innocent. Look at this. Only in America can you admit on live TV that you wanted your political rival investigated in return for military aid and half the country still thinks you're innocent. We're talking about Biden here, right? Let's move on. Donald Trump tweeted this. I got impeached last night without one Republican vote being cast with the do-nothing Dems on their continuation of the greatest witch hunt in American history. Now the do-nothing party want to do nothing with the articles and not deliver them to the Senate, but it's Senate's call. Yeah, Senate's. The Republicans can set up all the rules they want. That's how it goes. On the congressional side, it was the Democrats that wanted to do their own thing, right? Now since it's on the Senate side, not yet, since Nancy didn't send the articles yet, but Republicans are setting the rules now. Let's move on. Charlie Kirk tweeted this. Breaking. Democrats rejected a motion to vote on impeachment by manual roll call vote. They don't want to be on camera when they vote to overturn the votes of 63 million Americans. They don't want their names to be immediately associated with their votes. Disgraceful. Retweet. Let's move on. Paul Sperry tweeted this. Breaking. The FISA court learned about FBI falsifying evidence to obtain Carter Page FISA as early as October 25th, 2019. Yet waited until December 5th, 2019 to order the FBI to provide certain information addressing those concerns. Why the delay? Well, that's our show for today. Our show is not about left or right, it's about right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.